Yo, what's up? I've been in the agency and info online money space for about the last 4 years now. And in this video, I want to show you what it actually takes to make 14K in a day. My best day ever, I made $14,150 in profit, and I'm 22, bro. Most grown ass men don't make that in a month. And it's wild, like the money bubble that we're in and what you can do online. And in this video, I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible with you on what it takes. And it's not what you expect. Like, you probably think I'm going to sit here and preach to you to work hard when I really didn't work that hard. Like, and that sounds bad. Like, first of all, the first belief I want to challenge you on is that working hard doesn't mean you're going to make more. The people that go and cut the grass around here or that do construction, those guys work hard, yet they're not making 14K in multiple months. You know what I mean? And so working hard is like a non-negotiable. And I think I've just trained my brain that way. Over the last 4 years, I've rewired my brain to actually enjoy work. And the way that I realize this is my mom, I love my mom, but she works a normal job and she doesn't enjoy it, right? And we're working on retiring her. But she tells me, like, I'll call my mom and I'll tell her, I'm like, hey mom, yeah, I just got done. I worked so hard. I did like 10 hours today. And she'll tell me, oh, that sucks. And I never respond back, ever. I will never respond back to that. But I always think in my head, I'm like, why does it suck? Like, that's good, And it's because most people are conditioned to believe that work is bad. So the point that I'm getting at, the first belief is that just because you work hard doesn't mean you deserve to make anything, I worked hard for 8 months when I started my business and I didn't get a single client. And I bet you I worked more then than I do now. But the only difference is now I've developed the skill sets required to make the same amount of work a whole lot more for me, if that makes sense. And so the way that I was able to get to 14K in a day with my consulting business, where do I even start? Number one, I got the first like it all comes down to skills, right? And the first skill that I learned is lead gen and appointment setting. And I learned it for myself, for the SMMA that I ran for realtors. And I learned it for my realtor clients. I was able to get them more appointments and more leads. And that skill set the foundation for everything. If you're somebody that's running an agency or you're somebody selling info, the way that I tell it to people based on what I see from my own personal experience is an agency serving like local businesses or something like that. It's a great starting business to understand and learn marketing. But the next evolution, the next stage to that is building a brand and selling that same client acquisition system that you have that you're doing as a service, and selling it as a system that you help them implement on a done with you level, on a consulting level. Why? Because I went through the problems of running a done for you agency. It becomes a nightmare to scale. There's people that are big that do it, I understand, but it's just not something that I wanted to do. And so I went from an agency to then teaching people the same client acquisition system that I used. And I charged high ticket for it. I charged $6,000 for somebody to come in and work with me on a one-to-one level in order to plug in the outreach systems, the content systems, in order to bring in leads, bring in calls, have the right offer in place, have the right sales process and delivery process in place, basically the whole entire business I'm helping these guys with. And that's what I was paid for. I got, that day I did 14K, like 2 deals and a half, like a half a payment up front. And it wasn't difficult whatsoever. And I didn't do something extraordinary that day. The only thing that I did for my consulting business is I posted consistently on YouTube. I got a couple hundred views, maybe, and I spoke to the core of the person that's problem I was trying to solve. And I showed them that I've been there. I showed them I've been there, done that. And I said, hey, I can help you. That's it. And, I heard Nick Sarive, if you know him, biggest guy, I think, in the AI space, AI agency space. He talks about this as well. He has people that try and funnel hack him and like basically make YouTube videos explaining how he's making so much money. And he addresses and he's like, dude, these people are so funny because at the end of the day, literally all I do is post YouTube videos and have a link in my description to go and buy my low ticket thing. And so I start like asking him like, well, what caused him to do the same thing other people are doing, yet he's getting drastically different results? And it just comes down to skill set. It is simply that he is very, very good at the things that he talks about. Therefore, people listen. That's it. People listen. And if people listen, people start to believe. And when people start to believe, people start to trust. And when people start to trust, people start to buy, right? And so people are listening to Nick, then they're trusting Nick, especially if they take action and get results from his free stuff, and then they're buying from Nick. That's it. And so I got good at the agency stuff. I taught it. People learned it. They paid attention. They then trusted me, and then they paid me for more help, for closer proximity to me to help them. And so if you're somebody that's trying to make 14K in a day without like pulling your damn hair out, the way you do it is by getting really, really damn good at something. Really, really good. You know, I work with people that teach others how to run an agency, that teach people like different models and stuff. You get really, really good. And you get irrefutable evidence that you've done that thing. And you talk about it. And you get in front of a damn camera in your truck in an empty street, a dead-end street, and you talk about it, right? And if that's all you do, and you stay consistent, and you do YouTube specifically because it allows people to trust you and buy into you and who you are, you'll be able to make 14K in a day. Now, what are my plans to be able to make 14K every day? Well, I decided to relaunch an agency, and I'm doing an AI agency for realtors. Why am I doing this, even though it opposes what I told you before? Well, the reason that I'm doing it is so that I could then teach people properly how to build an agency with like having a foundation using AI. So I use AI right now in my agency on the delivery side to book appointments for my clients. I use it on the front end side to book appointments for me. And so I'm using AI in all these places because when I go and I make another video talking about how I did it, there's irrefutable evidence that I have done the thing that I'm teaching. And if you're posting on YouTube already, trying to sell coaching or consulting or whatever it is, and you feel like you're struggling and nobody's buying, it's probably because you're just not good enough yet. Now, we can talk about packaging on the videos and the marketing message and making sure we have a unique mechanism and all these different marketing terms. But at the end of the day, if you're just good at what you do and you have irrefutable evidence that you've done it for yourself or for others, and both, and you share it and you post videos and you talk about it and you showcase it and you let people use it for free and they get results with it, you will never have money problems again in your life. It's very simple. You know, very simple. And so those are some insights that I've learned going from dead broke college kid that sold his car to buy a course online to being able to make more than a grown man's salary, a monthly salary in a day. And we're just getting started. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you like the videos in the truck outside of the damn office we're always stuck in, let me know. I'll make more. Hope you found this valuable. I'll see you soon.